Greetings, everyone. I'm Steve Cook, Superintendent of Bendel Pines Schools. It's your board recap for the January 25th special board meeting. One item on the agenda tonight, a very robust conversation with our board and myself and our staff regarding next steps to discuss whether or not we were going to continue with Appendix A, which, if you recall, in the fall plan was the lunch plan and the specifics of the lunch plan, or if we were going to drop that. Our recommendation was to the board for that plan to be dropped, so it would free up some resources in the district at each of our schools to implement the new updated version of the guidance from CDC regarding isolation and quarantining, moving to a 5-day isolation and quarantining guidance. And the rationale for why that was because we were going to have some students returning back into our schools if we adopted this plan on day 6 after isolation, which arguably is still a little bit risky. The CDC's talked about that quite a bit in their conversation. And so how we would do that safely and ensure that we would keep those kids in a separate environment, which was also staff intensive. And so both of these seem to be pulling at each other as we talk to staff across the district and feeling that it was not reasonable to ask the staff to add another thing without giving some relief in something else. And so as you can imagine, this conversation was, there was a lot of passion, a lot of energy in this conversation because we're in the middle of a surge and we're also in holding kids out right now for isolation and in some regards in quarantine for quite some time, and moving from 10-day isolation to 5-day isolation would provide a pathway for those students to get back into school much sooner. And so almost 90 minutes of discussion over all of this, and the board voted 5-2 to drop the Appendix A, which are the guidance for the lunch plan to continue. Doesn't mean that those mitigation strategies are gone. In fact, they're still going to be in place, but it is going to provide flexibility for each of our schools to do those mitigation strategies a little more directly. I think it's important to note that there was a lot of energy, a lot of public comment. Lots of folks had very strong thoughts about what we're trying to do, and I'll just tell you that it wasn't lost on any of our board members how important it is to try to do our best at physical safety for our students, for our staff, for folks all over the district, while also ensuring that students' academic needs and mission critical teaching and learning expectations are still elevated to the highest they can be. And so with that conversation, the final outcome was that the board did decide to rescind the appendix and therefore relinquish their supervision over that portion of our reopening plan. That means it lives back at our school level. We can make some of those decisions, look to your level. Principals need to look to your level leaders for that guidance and how we administer those. And we'll keep pushing information out on that to keep you up to date on how we can do both of those, keep our folks safe, keep our students in school, in person. And we're done with that meeting, and that's, I think, about it. So everybody stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back again soon. Thank you.